Hey guys,
Hello.
welcome to the Update 3 preview stream. My name is Frog Squadron, I am the community developer, and with me today are Jeff, also known as Slow Hands,
Yes.
all
How
the
do you do?
writer, and Romain, creative director.
Hello, guys.
Romain, you've seen on our platform as Space Troll as well.
Space Troll.
So we've got actually quite a lot to cover today, so let's dive in. I think you guys probably all have seen it, but some of you might not have. So we have a pretty cool new video from the new faction to show to you today. So how about we start with that?
Start with that.
Ours was a pristine universe. We knew nothing of your endless, your dust. Until the rift ripped a path between our realities, injecting a blight that spread like poison. Our cosmos of order and balance was shattered forever. Dying, corrupted, and consumed. We had no choice. We are outcasts in the chaos that is your universe, willing to do anything to save our own.
And we're back. Yeah, that was dramatic.
Gets me every time. Every time.
Okay, so to talk with us about the Riftborn, because that's their name, obviously over to you, Jeff. What can you tell us about who those guys are, where they come from, what they do, what they want?
Right. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Francois. Frog Squadron. Yes. So the Riftborn, as you have guessed from the video, come from a separate universe, a different reality than ours, or than I should say than the Endless Universe. What happened was an explosion occurred in the Endless Universe that literally tore a hole between the two realities. So the universe of the Endless is sort of infecting and flooding into the Riftborn's universe, destroying it and infecting it. So of course the Riftborn, being a little bit concerned about this, they've sent a sort of vanguard, the small task force to go into the Endless Universe to try to learn about it, to try to close the rift, to try to somehow save themselves, or if not, create an evacuation plan so that all the Riftborn who are in the dying universe can exit and come into the Endless Universe. So there's a big lore on the lore side. There's sort of a big a lot of tension, a big conflicts out there within the Riftborn. So the Riftborn are, as you saw, sort of they're a very geometric faction. In fact, when you play them in the game, maybe we'll see some key art cycling through. They look like robots. So there's two pretty interesting gameplay twists that we have with the Riftborn. Of course, I'm excited about all this stuff, but particularly excited about this. One is that they don't use food and they don't sort of have babies like most factions do. You actually build them. So you need industry. You actually put them in the queue to create more units of population of the Riftborn. So that makes, of course, those of you who know the game understand there's a whole series of choices and decisions that go into that. The other thing is because they come from another dimension, they have a whole different view on the 1, 2, 3, 4, however many n dimensions of the Endless Universe. They have a certain amount of control over time.
Ooh.
So you'll see the Riftborn having, to a certain limited extent, in certain limited areas, an ability to control and adapt time and what happens in time. And I'm not going to get into too much of the gameplay because it's a lot of fun to discover yourself. But that's sort of an overview of what we're doing with the faction and what the faction is like.
It was a lot of fun to design, actually, to be able to play with time and while the others can play with time, and especially multiplayer could be like a crazy kind of thing to do. Talking of which, actually,
yeah. Okay, all right. So we're switching over from one person to the
annoy
other.
your friends.
Guys,
Here we go.
this is professional TV right now. This is how you do it.
Did you see what we did there?
Moving over to announce the great debut of multiplayer, Romain.
So basically, as you all know, we love to play multiplayer with our games. That's also one of the reasons why we're making these 4X games. We love to spend our Sunday afternoons playing with our friends, and we hope that
Ex-friends.
Ex-friends, yeah, some of the time, yeah, sometimes sadly.
For
But anyway,
ex-friends.
we hope now with the next update that you will be able to play multiplayer with your friends as well. So bear with us. It will be the first time that you guys can play with it. So it will be a bit rough around the edges, but still, we count on you to give us a lot of feedback on that, especially on certain areas of stability. Like synchronization could be issues. So if you have any issues with that, you let us know, and we'll of course make everything we can to fix them before the release, obviously. But also, we also are including a lot of elements to play with time to make the game smoother when you play in multiplayer. So normally, we shouldn't have to wait for Jeff for 1 hour, like between 2 turns.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sometimes I can't decide what to
Always
do.
have important things to do in multiplayer, I'm sure. But anyway, so we have all the main features there. So again, let us know what you think. The update is coming soon, and we'll give you actually more news on when it's coming out by the end of that.
It's actually
It's out yet.
Is it announced?
Did you
Is it
say?
official?
yeah,
Announced?
like
Okay.
the date is out on the website, so we can go and set it.
Next
we're aiming for
week.
next week, next
Yeah.
Thursday. So contrarily to the last time, it's not going to be immediately after the stream, but yeah, next week, promise.
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a pink as well. So actually, yeah, talking about battles with multiplayer, we wanted to talk about some changes with the battles.
Yes, so on the battles, of course, we read all your feedback. It's a work that will happen until the last seconds, until we ship the game. So we worked a lot on the battles again. Quite a few elements actually worth mentioning because a lot happens. I'm taking my notes and make sure will not forget some of the most important stuff. You'll see first when you design your ships, like some new icons and stuff, visuals, to better understand, the design of the ship. It's better looking as well. So I really like what we did. I hope you will like that as well. You will also see a lot of work on the scan view. Scan view for us is very important. You should be able, when you see the battles, to understand everything which is happening there, to try to understand, what you did wrong, what they did right, or the other way around, to make sure that you reproduce that for the next battle, and of course make better choices, whether it's in designing ships, fleets, or picking your strategies.
Yeah, I find myself using Scanview a lot to see
Me too.
to watch the hit points, to get the range information, the damage information.
I always play
it's actually pretty
in
cool.
Scanview actually.
Yeah.
So, but again, we hope you will like that. You will tell us, if you lack information, it will be the right moment to tell us, what you would like to see extra during these Scanviews. One big thing that you guys were asking for that we also added were actually what we call the overview of the battle. On one button you will click and the camera will go on top, and show you with a different kind of scanning, what's happening on the battle from the top-down view. So very quickly understand what's happening where, which flotilla, is winning or losing, which one is taking the damage. So, and again, when you have a big, good idea what's going on, you click back, to either free cam if you want to just dig into battle directly, or if you want, you can just let the camera director take over for you. One thing that will be very important when you finish your battle is to better understand, of course, what happened. So you'll be able to have a very detailed overview of the battle, of what happened. All the stats basically for each flotilla, ship, weapons, distance, to really understand when you were optimum. So again, you should have a lot of information. If we're missing any, let us know. Okay, and then you have a lot of stuff as well that Maxence will delve more into details, like all the modules that we added, like 15 support modules that we added in the game. We tweaked all the weapons defense hulls for their cost, for their damage, and of course the whole system is really
The ship design
improving as
system
well.
has really been reworked quite a bit.
Yeah, so we're going to go into detail on that and actually show you in the game how it looks and everything.
Cool.
But that will be a bit more in depth, so later. Actually, well, thank you for that. We're going to ship back to Jeff over for a little bit because we have a couple of new people to show you They're really strange looking, so I'm really looking forward to hearing
Yes.
what he's got to say about them.
Right.
Those are the new minor factions. Over
Yep.
to you, Jeff.
As always, with each new update we put out, we add a couple of minor factions each time. So we had the major faction, the Riftborn, they already got very passionate about. The next two minor factions coming out are the Niris and the Bagaba. Now, let's see, that's the Bagaba there. What they are is they are a pacifist faction that is essentially we went kind of over the top on this one. It's basically a coral reef, an entire world that's full of coral reefs that are sentient. And the minor faction units are actually sort of the drones of this thinking coral reef. So they're not actually an aquatic faction, but they are a very unusual sort of coral-looking faction, or sort of they have a very unusual visual style. The other faction, the Niris, is actually an undersea faction, an aquatic faction. When you see some of the key art of them walking around on land, they will have their sort of breathing helmets of water. They are ecologists. They come from an ocean world that was sort of overdeveloped, was ruined industrially, and so they're sort of fighting back and trying to come back and do things a little better the second time. Anyway, a lot of cool visuals for both of those. A lot of support for ecologist and pacifist gameplay because there wasn't so much of that with the earlier minor factions we had. So again, hopefully some fun ideas and some more cool gameplay.
Okay, so I have to say I'm noticing a theme in a lot of our factions. We have a lot of people who actually originally come from the water and emerged on land. We have the Lumeris.
Right.
We have the Nashas from the last update. We have
Right.
those guys. And, well, obviously, one of the Endless factions as well originally were in water, I think.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, on my Endless lore.
Right.
Obviously, I'm not the lore master. Is there some sort of pattern here? Like, is it something you like, I guess?
I don't know. I think partially it's intentional because we have a lot of water planets, atoll planets, Mediterranean planets, ocean planets, that sort of thing. So, we like to have species that are native to these and have something to do with that. But also, I don't know, I guess maybe I'm just somebody who has sort of a real passion for the oceans and oceanography and that sort of thing. So maybe it's just, maybe some of my personal interests are spilling over a little bit into the game. My apologies. But I think also our artists do a great job with them. When you give them a challenge like that, they'll come up with some amazing visuals for it. So I think it works out pretty well. I mean, I hope it works out pretty well.
Okay, second curveball. The second faction, the Nearest, also have this over-industrialization theme.
Right.
Could there be politics in our video games? Okay, all right, that's enough for now.
Yeah, you're asking the American. Okay, we're just not going to go into that, I think.
Okay, all right, let's switch over to Romain then
talking about the minor factions.
Actually, minor factions,
still,
yeah.
because
Some
there's new
gameplay,
gameplay,
yeah.
and again,
fix that.
you guys were the first one to tell us, we need to see like improved, interaction with the minor factions. You guys are right. We're not very happy with the previous system, so we're still working on it. What we're trying to add now is to make sure, your actions are more meaningful when you act and interact with the minor factions. So we have balance issues that it's obvious you shouldn't be able to invade after two little factions just beside you. So of course it's balanced, but there's also how you interact. So stuff that you will be able to do now, for example, in the interactions is by giving them luxuries. For example, you'll be able to create a motivation between each other. So you have migrations from these factions coming to your planets, to your systems. So it will be much more lively, and you will have much more things happening at peace with these factions. So there's not only one way, which is to overtake their worlds. You can have like a kind of a peaceful coexistence.
We used to have this thing that's sort of like you save up all your influence, then like boom, 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 assimilate in one turn, and you have either zero bonus or all the bonus. So now we're moving a little bit to a situation where you move up, you become friendly with them, you start getting a bit of a bonus for being their friend. So it's I think a more logical, gradual gameplay than what we had before.
Still on the topic of minor factions, actually. Something that will make a lot of you very happy is you won't have pirate swarms anymore. The pirates will be in orderly fleets and not just like one after the other, just coming at you and not heeding of the danger facing them. So look up for a tougher challenge because there will be like big groups probably, but hopefully no longer the scattering
The
just
spam.
the
Yeah.
spam taking over
Okay.
your side of the galaxy. So that's something
That
to
was
look
not in
forward to.
update 2.
That wasn't. It
Cool.
was something
Yeah.
we
It's
tried.
much
but
better that way.
there were some other like side effects that made it still in the game. Like we corrected some ways, but yeah, that's what happens during development, right? So yeah, so there's that. What next? We have, I think, something that will make some people fairly happy. You were mentioning life in the galaxy. We have a lot more visuals, right?
Yeah, so basically with curiosity, diversity, like anomalies, we're trying to add a lot more. We also have, like you see in the systems, a lot of more stuff happening. A lot of stuff sometimes actually you barely will see, but it's there actually to bring life, like a lot of little comments going around. We still are working on populations traveling actually in systems and stuff. I don't think we're seeing that yet in the game, but anyway, well, something that we'll see later. So basically, just the galaxy is like it's much more like moving around in the background with new layers, and again, all these anomalies and stuff that you will see, on the planets, will work and will increase the life in the galaxy. That will be quite cool, actually.
Speaking of anomalies, don't miss, of course, the anomaly vote that is on. We just started yesterday, and actually there's already a clear.
One is ahead right now.
Yeah. There's one clearly ahead of the others. So if you're interested in one of the two other options winning, make sure you drop by the gamestogether.com to drop your vote. As usual, if you link your Steam account, you will add all the points of all the achievements you've unlocked and everything to the weight of your vote. So, well, if you've never done that before, now could be the time. All right, just one small thing more to mention. It will only be a concern for some of you, but you'll be happy to learn that we now offer 4K support.
Okay.
So yeah, that's basically.
So it's 4K, but
okay.
with any like screens like beyond like 180p,
Cool.
Basically, it will definitely work pretty well actually. So pretty happy with that. Actually, wasn't planned. We just so it's actually Mathieu Amplimath basically that on his spare time just fiddle around with it and realized he could do something pretty cool with it. So if you're happy with that, sending like some love letters, he will be very happy about it. One last thing though we didn't talk about was actually market events.
Oh yeah,
which
right.
is pretty cool stuff actually. So our marketplace is something we want basically to have a fun economy. You should be able to play with the economy.
Something vibrant, something important.
Yeah.
To the gameplay.
So things happening. You should always be waiting for the best moment to invest, to buy, to sell. So what you will see happening is events on the marketplace linked to either players' actions or actually some random events. Sometimes the market will crash. Perfect moment maybe to buy some stuff. Sometimes prices will go like way beyond what you would expect. Maybe also a great moment to sell. So anyway, or sometimes you will try yourself to crash the market and trigger these events. So anyway, a lot of things should be able to play with the market. And so I hope you like that.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have a 4K screen. I'm not lucky enough. But I know that some people on the team have some, and they were like, "Guys, can we? We're willing to make this happen." So I'm really happy that we did. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We're gonna take a few questions from the chat now, if you have some. While the boss is here, it's a very good time. We're just gonna take a few. So if you've got more like deep gameplay questions, just keep them for Medoc, who's gonna be joining later.
Right.
Actually, just in a bit. And so yeah, shoot. Let's see if we have some questions right now. How long ago did the stream start? Well, by my count, about 15-20 minutes ago. So don't worry about it. If you've missed the start, as usual, we'll make it available as soon as we're finished. We'll just put it in the videos category on Twitch, so you'll be able to see it from the start. So don't worry.
Oh yes, any changes related to politics? So actually, yes, we're still definitely working on that. You see changes already in the game. I'm not sure you guys have seen before the neutral politics. Is it something that we just added?
No, it's brand new, I
so
think.
you'll see it's there's Maxence over there telling me that's new. So yeah, so we added like a new family of politics. So it's the kind of basic common politics you can at every moment like use in the game, especially to play with taxes, to play with like increased science, so very basic stuff. But they always have a kind of a counterweight. So it is like science for against less revenue, or so you will have to choose where you want to specialize your politics. And if you decide to like focus on actually your own politics that is elected in your Senate, you will have more specialized, very strong politics, and some of them will have, of course, a cost in empire points, influence. So yes, a lot of modifications. Again, we hope you will like that.
I have a question that is, have you ever been a mechanic in New Jersey? I have not. I'm guessing this is a compliment, probably look buff. So yay! Thank you for that.
He's asking me, I think. I could be. No, but I do come from Philadelphia. That's the closest we can get, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
What else do we have?
Still on the topic of the law, we had actually a second term of elections compared to what we had as a system previously. So all the votes that were not in one of the two leading positions will actually be carried over to the political affinity that is the closest to the ones that they were originally voting for. So this could actually create some upsets in what you would think would be the leading parties in your elections. So that I think is going to be also a little bit closer to what is actually happening in real life with people just reporting the votes. So yeah, look forward to that. And also, I have a note from Maxence, but from Medoc, but I don't actually know what it means. So I'm just going to wait for him to be here in the next segment of the stream to explain it. So don't worry about this.
One last question. I saw that questions about localization. You guys are wondering which languages we will translate the game into. So right now, what we're trying to, I'm not sure we'll have them all, but quite a few languages actually. So on release day, we hope to have so French, German, Spanish, Portuguese.
Yeah, Brazilian Portuguese.
Russian.
Russian.
So we Russian,
yeah.
And we hope also to have some Asian languages like simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese,
and traditional.
So we try that. Bear with us. We may not get them already on release date, but crossing fingers.
We should be.
I see that. Actually, Weaponized Caffeine, who's one of the game devs as well, has answered the question of the full list. So don't hesitate to look to the chat for the actual. Full list.
Forgot Polish and Korean.
Oh yeah, Korean. That's right.
A lot of languages.
Wow.
So we never did that many, so it's a bit scary. So.
Yeah, it's a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Are we getting multiplayer with this update? Yes. Welcome to the chat.
We went over that earlier.
Yeah,
it will be in there.
It's the multiplayer update.
It was one of the big features that we're building.
It's the beta multiplayer, so it'll work. But we're still working on it.
Yeah.
Will the new faction be locked out of getting heroes like the Harmony? No, they may look alike, but they actually don't play the same, because otherwise we just put the Harmony again. We're trying to offer you a brand new faction with new paradigm when it comes to playing.
New gameplay.
Exactly. So, no, they actually have some heroes. I'm not sure what they're exactly good for. I remember writing it down at some point, but they have some cool talents we'll discuss as soon as we hit the gameplay section of the stream in a couple of minutes. So, moving over to the next question.
Yeah, two things. So there's quite a lot of questions about balancing. We're still not happy with the balancing right now. The problem is, as we're adding always new content, it's hard to get the game well balanced. We hope, for the next update, basically, we'll get balance right. So we work a lot more on balance, starting more or less, in 10 days from now. So while you test multiplayer with your friends, or you're playing single player on update 3, please, look at game balance, and of course let us know any form of imbalances, that we should want to work on. So that's one thing. Guys are asking about mods. We still hope to have mod support for release. It's a tricky one. If it's not for release, it should be soon after release.
But you should know that you can actually already mod the game. Some people already have released mods in the past, because it's a lot easier to, just ship something that is just changing a few tweaks in the XML. So you can actually hop on to our modding section. It's already open. And even though there won't be any on update 3 stricto sensu, there are some already. You can see what's been done. Modifying the XML actually is just, if it's just tweaking values, if you want a crazy dictatorship with very high approval, you can make that happen. So it's actually a very, very easy thing to do if you're interested in modding the game yourself, becoming a modder.
But
So
workshop will make it a lot better.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Workshop
so-
support will be.
So it's handy for you guys to get it and share it. So. Okay. You see
Maybe
any-
one last question. When will we have quest endings? That is for the next update, I think.
Yeah, it depends on the I'm assuming you're speaking of the faction quests.
Yeah.
The Sofan and let's see, Sofan Vodiani, Lumeris, Craver, Horatio. All those quests should be complete. United Empire, I believe, also goes all the way to the 4th chapter. Riftborn, I think we're only going to have the first half, and then the community faction, we're still working on that quest. That'll be in the release. So I'd say at least 5 or 6 of the factions will have the full faction quest in release 3.
Yeah. Just one question, which is the big one. Obviously, we said on our Steam pages that the early access should last from 4 to 6 months, and we do believe this is the best length of our early access. So we are going a bit beyond that, I guess. So sorry, we're a bit longer than expected, but
Fashionably late
Yeah,
is the
so-
term we prefer to use. We're not late. We're just doing this on purpose because that's what the cool kids do.
we hope like we're nearing release. Definitely, we aim at like spring, release. So bear with us, hoping that everything will go fine. But yeah, we hope to be out for spring.
We've been really ambitious with the content, with
Yeah.
the gameplay content, with the artistic content. So it has taken more time than we originally wanted. But I don't think the game's suffering. It's going to be a better game than we had in our original vision. It's taking longer. So.
Actually, and to answer the point of some other person who was asking how many more updates, basically the next update is release. So look forward to that. I think we're good probably. So we're gonna have a just brief recess. We're gonna show you the introduction video again because I don't think you've seen it enough for now. And,
And it's awesome.
when we come
As well,
back,
so.
it's going to be just me and Midok, who's sitting here quietly. And so just say bye to the camera, guys, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Great talking
Bye-bye.
to
Thank
you.
you.
Ours was a pristine universe. We knew nothing of your endless, your dust. Until the rift ripped a path between our realities, injecting a blight that spread like poison. Our cosmos of order and balance was shattered forever. Dying, corrupted, and consumed. We had no choice. We are outcasts in the chaos that is your universe, willing to do anything to save our own.
Welcome back. So with me tonight, now that Jeff and Romain have vacated the place, is Midok. Midok, who's our lead designer, I think. I'm not sure. He's the main guy. We love him. You've seen him anyway since Endless Space once, so it's not like you've not seen this face before. We're actually. I know that questions are still, flashing by in the chat. As usual, we have some people in the chat already answering the most common ones, but we'll be taking some at the end of the gameplay or even during if there are some lulls. So don't hesitate if you have some. Just ask. Someone in the chat may know the answer as well. So don't worry about it. Let's hop into the game. We have quite a lot of things to show, starting with actually a save game showing the Riftborn. So let's hop over to that.
Whoa.
So this is a brand new Galaxy
Spiral
type.
8,
This is the Spiral 8. So of course this might be the one of choice if you play with 8 people.
And we're going to add another one, I think, the Ovoid Galaxy,
Yeah.
which is awesome too, but well, you will discover it next week.
Okay, let's zoom in on our Empire. So we're on the bottom left side.
The blue one.
And there is quite a bunch of things happening. So right now, I think we.
Maybe we could have a look to our home system just to
Okay,
show
let's-
the
Let's
you know,
move in.
Time Lord's population.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
what they
So the home system is Procyon. Let's zoom in onto that.
So you can see in the construction queue, unique building. I have the camera right in front of it, so I'm not sure of.
Yeah, we have a really big and fancy camera in front of right in front of the screen. It's not very convenient, but we're gonna work around
Yeah.
it.
So basically, as Jeff said previously, the Time Lords, sorry, it's a code name.
The Riftborns.
Riftborns,
Yeah. You guys know it now. That was just a code name. So Riftborn
the
Time Lords.
Riftborns, has to build their population. So basically, it will have a flat industry cost that will then increase depending on the number of population you already have in the system, making it harder and harder to develop. And as they don't use the growth, the food, they won't produce manpower by themselves.
Oh,
So we
So you have
added
to
them
build it?
a new infinite building that will convert your industry to manpower.
okay.
So it makes them really industry EV oriented. They will have to, I think, more micromanagement than other factions in terms of construction queue, because you'll have to manage between developing your system, developing your population, developing your manpower,
hmm
and building the singularities.
So as you can see, like this is Vanguard, the planet that they actually landed on after setting first foot in this universe. It's something that they actually like because being a snow planet, it's mostly white. It's mostly featureless to them, which is a lot less, irksome to the eyes compared to like a tropical planet or jungle planet. This means that it's also fairly science heavy. It doesn't produce a lot of food, but that's not a problem because
But
as
no
we just
industry
mentioned,
either, which makes their life harder than expected.
yeah, well, obviously, being a fairly strong population in and of themselves, it's part of the challenge that they will have a fairly
Yeah.
hard early game. Actually, I think do you want to mention how they start with two?
They start with 2 Time Lords, and if you could over the population on the side panel, as you can see, they're quite powerful. They produce +5 industry, dust, and science. So
Wow, that is very
each
big.
Time Lord is really good. When you're playing another faction, Riftborn, sorry, I will keep saying Time Lords, and I apologize.
I didn't even
it's-
pay attention. I didn't even notice. So that's my fault as well.
Only them can build a new population, but if someone else captures the system, it will still benefit from the Riftborn population.
Yeah.
So it's a bit
Okay, so you have to
interesting,
keep it balanced. Yeah, that's part of the trick, I guess.
So singularities can be built from the system. If you go back in it, you can see some fancy improvements. The singularity is a tool for the Riftborn to manipulate time locally. So the idea is you can purge them in the construction queue. They will cost different strategic resources and dust to be built. And once they are built, they will appear on the top left part, just under the strategic resources.
Yeah, so this is a placeholder. Basically, we'll add a visual effect
Yeah.
showing the singularities.
We'll have something more beautiful.
Yeah, a lot nicer looking than a plus and a minus. So don't worry about this.
If you go back to Galaxy, we can show how to use that. So in order to
Ooh.
place a singularity, you need to have vision
On the system?
the system you want to place it.
So do we want to place a singularity on the enemy? And
So yeah, you have different options actually. You have some singularities that are better for you and your allies that will accelerate time, for instance. So enhance your fleet's production, or even being able to use a building that is not built yet
Mhm.
to reassign free your heroes within the system.
Oh, okay.
Like you mess up with time basically.
Yeah,
And-
that's got a lot of options, I guess.
And others will be more offensive one, like slowing down, being able to rewind time, so replay battles, go back from welcome, this kind of stuff.
Okay, wow.
And the ultimate singularity. No, I will not spoil it. I will
No?
keep it. No, I will keep it
Okay,
secret.
well, no spoiling, I guess. That's good.
So once you on the Galaxy map, you can click on the singularity, and then you can over systems to place it. And if it's not available, you have a tooltip explaining why. It could be it's not under your vision, or there is already one singularity, because you cannot mix them together. You can only have one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Once singularity is placed, it will stand for a few turns, 10 turns,
Okay.
so you can benefit from it.
So you could ally with someone and then speed up their systems if
Yeah.
it's better than yours. That's going to make multiplayer very interesting. I'm guessing that we're going to see a lot of
You
of
could
players.
fear that your Riftborn ally could betray you and like slow down all your system and then declare war. You know, because
yeah, that would
if you
be-
share vision with them,
Okay.
it could be a.
So see, I was talking as myself playing the Riftborn, and you're talking like my friends playing the Riftborn, which is like, wait, I don't hang out with these people anymore. All right, do we want to put a negative singularity on a
Do you have some
neighboring system?
enemies
Yeah,
somewhere?
we have some like the
Oh,
guys.
but we're under Maya. Yeah, we're on the Maya system. Yeah, maybe we could try to do that. Yeah.
All right. On
No,
the-
yeah, you cannot because you don't have
Oh,
vision. But on the system just above, you have your fleet, and your fleet is providing vision on it. So you can place it. So
Okay.
it gives them another interest toward probes because you could send probes to an opponent system to be able to place your singularity discreetly
Oh,
because
okay.
probes provide vision for a short amount of time.
Yeah, that is already way more devious than I thought.
Yeah,
People
that's the
could
kind
be.
of mechanics you can use in a different
Yeah,
ways.
no, that's very clever.
Should we look at the battle?
Yeah, let's play
Yes.
this battle. Okay, let's click on the fleet, and then the fighting option will pop up. Or maybe not. Have we stopped time altogether? No. Okay, we haven't. All right, it's just a bit congested because we're doing everything on the same computer at the same time. All right, let's fight.
So
are we
wait, before
Yes.
watching, could we go in the advanced screen of the battle?
All right.
So as Romain said, we worked on it and tried to improve it. So we've written the left part showing you flotilla and the range they are using. You have more filters.
At the bottom, that was part of a
It's
big
not a
too,
really
wasn't it?
sorry, I'm a bit confused.
Some of it was, yeah.
But we refined a bit the display of the different options. We worked a lot on the content of the battle, so available plays and weapons, synergy between ships. But we dive in that a bit later. Maybe we could just jump to the battle.
All right.
Yeah, it's a computer.
Yeah, we're getting a new computer for the stream for you guys so that you can actually enjoy the game as it's supposed to look like and not the game as it's struggling to run on a machine that is also streaming at the same time in high quality because this is just not possible anymore. So yeah, it should be putting up in a few seconds. We're actually going to be showing you a bit of the scan view, the overhead view
Yeah.
as well.
So could you go to overview camera maybe? We can start with that.
Let's do this.
So the view camera is a predefined position that will show you the battlefield in its globality. So you can have a look at the whole battle, all flotillas, at which range they are, and what's going to happen. So now we're starting to fight soon. The Ivor phase will end, and so.
Okay, all right. They're already peppering each other with projectiles.
So if you zoom in a bit with the mouse wheel, we can see the. Can you activate scan with space? So you can see between the different flotillas some lines that provide the information of damages given by a ship to another.
Okay.
So the wider the line is, the more damages you're giving.
Oh.
So in white, it's your damages to the opponent, and in orange, it's your opponent's fight damaging you.
Okay, so I see that the vessel in the middle was getting a pummeling on our side of the flotilla. Oh well, it's exploding. Actually, it's not exploding. Something that you should note. Well, actually, we're not going to zoom in on it. You guys deserve to see it for yourself. But when one of your ships is destroyed as a Riftborn, it doesn't explode. It goes back to somewhere. It's really nice looking. But yeah, check it out.
So we also reinforce different feedback. You can now see damages and the ships when you close enough, so you can directly see the value of how much damages your weapons do. We're still working on the visual effect to improve it. It's a bit rough now. We improve the feedback of the damages given, defense efficiency, improve the different icons of the world so it's clearer to differentiate them.
Okay.
And lots of small things. But the thing is, I'm not ever sure of what was in the update 2 and what is new because we're so used to it now.
Yeah, I
mean,
guess we've been working on this for a little bit now.
for the anecdote, we're using it to debug the battle because it really helps us to understand what's going on, and so it helps us to see if what we're making in terms of effects is really effective, because you can really dive in and take your time to analyze
let's
ship by
zoom in on
ship
that
what's
big
going
boy.
on. Oh yeah.
Oh, we've lost the ship. Oh, there it is.
You know what? It's not a big deal because we added a new feature that allow you to rewatch the battle at any time.
Oh
So
yeah, that's at the
once
bottom
the battle
right.
is done, you can just click on rewatch and the battle will start again. So
So let's just move on because
but it's
we're
more,
still
if you're
very.
interested to dive in and understand, you can either I wanted to show something else, but we'll do that later.
No problem.
So for the Riftbone, I think we've seen the biggest part of the gameplay.
Uh-huh. Let's jump to some of the 3D anomalies. So
Yeah.
if you jump on, if you go a bit to the left, there is the Esh system. It's one of ours, and it has a visual anomaly on one of the planets. So if we zoom in a little more, we actually have the Huygens rings on the left. So it's an anomaly that we had, I think, in the first Endless Space as well.
Yeah,
that is making a comeback. I personally really like rings and planets. In Endless Space, it tends to be only gas giants that have rings, I think. So I like this anomaly because it gives a bit more diversity, visual diversity. And also, as Beyonce said, if you something put a ring on it. Wow, that was really bad. Let's just move on to the next system. Yeah, well,
if you zoom out a bit, you can also see. Could you go back to the system view? We added some sun effects, so it provided a bit more color to the view and lighting and the planets.
Okay.
And the population effect has been improved, so we can see the lights and the.
on the dark
phase.
side of the planets. That's pretty cool. All right, let's move over to the I think it's Bundus system. So it's actually just a little higher. It's on the northern side of the map.
Yeah, you can see the blue.
Yeah, it's the
isolated
small
system.
thingy. All right, so this one has, I think, Permanent Monsoon on the Tundra, the second from the right, the Bundus 2. So if you zoom in, usually tundras are really dry planets.
Gray.
Yeah, a bit dull looking. And these actually add a whole layer of cloud coverage. So you have, almost half the surface area that is covered by a cloud system. So yeah, those are just some of the anomalies. Obviously, they're a lot harder to make spawn in a specific game compared to factions and the like. So we just I'll show you guys the ones we managed to find. But there's a whole bunch in the game, and some are obviously a lot more visually striking. We've even going into the wonders, which affect the entire system, which are even bigger.
And something really cool we didn't do in the space is we can mix up the visual of anomalies. So sometimes you can have two anomalies that will just blend together, creating really unique visual.
Okay, that's very cool.
Maybe could you end the turn so we could start a new battle? I wanted to show the advanced.
Oh, check it out. On the top right, you have a notification about a market event. How convenient. We were just mentioning these.
So market events, it's the idea of having dynamic events triggered that will changes the course of resources price, stocks, which is based on the context. So depending on how a player will use the market, they will be able to trigger market events that will maybe give them incentive to sell or to buy specific resources.
Yeah.
And what we'll plan to add a bit later is to reinforce the contextual market events. Like potentially, if you're owning the marketplace and you're at war, it will have consequences to the price. And this kind of stuff.
I see.
Could we start another battle? I would really love to see the advanced report we added for this update.
I'm not sure we have opponents to fight in the immediate vicinity. I think we kind of kicked their asses, and there's no more cravers in the immediate area. Maybe if we move the fleet over from Karana to Thea, let's see how we can. Yeah, let's just do that. Oh yeah, there is a tiny fleet.
It will be enough to show what we need to. maybe you could. Yeah. We'll show the tech tree first, maybe. So it's really professional, really organized. So we changed quite a lot the
Live TV, baby.
military part of the tech tree. In the previous update, you had like automated unlocks of default module every stage.
Uh-huh.
That has been removed. Now, if you want new modules, you have to get them.
Okay.
So there will be less deprecated module, which was one of the biggest issues reported by the players.
Mm-hmm.
And could you zoom in on the top part of the tech tree, please? So on the left part we'll have the common modules, and on the right part we'll have strategic modules that now appear only from stage 3, which is a bit later. And we worked on the power scale based on the stage, and it should be more balanced. And we added a lot of support modules, as Romain said.
Okay.
So now all the support hull, the small one and the medium one, will have more interest because it could bring abilities to a whole flotilla and change the course of the battle. For instance, we added some support modules that can modulate the targeting weight, so you could create a tank with bait module that will just attract the opponent's fire.
Oh, that's
And
nice. I've
when
always
your
dreamt of being able to do that kind of
DPS will
stuff.
focus on turn them down. Or
Well,
And the
now that we're
decoy.
talking about the modules and shipbuilding, let's move over to show all the new stuff in the ship
yeah, you
creation screen. Actually, we were mentioning icons and the like, so if we click on, I don't know, the Cypher 3 model, let's just...
wait, do you see this small button?
Oh, what's this? The one that says auto upgrade?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we
inside
added
the
the
actor
feature
studio.
of auto upgrade. Now, when you select the ship design, you can click on this button, and it will automatically replace all module with a better version,
Yeah.
if it exists.
Okay, so
It will not change what you chose, but just upgrade a module with the same family.
so if I have crappy lasers and then upgrade my missiles, I'm not gonna get the good
No.
missiles. I'm just gonna stick to the crappy
Yeah,
lasers.
because we don't want to override players' decision.
Okay, yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't want my missile fleet to suddenly become something else. All right, let's see
Jump
the
to the
edits
edit, yeah.
screen. Yeah. So
So Time Lord's ship.
Riftbone
lots of,
ships.
yeah, Riftbone. Thank you. Maybe at the end of the stream I will be able to say it properly.
that's fine.
Riftbone ships have this floating part, all of them, which also has a weapon for some of them. Like the small one is weapon, while the front one are just decoration.
Mhm.
I think it's part of where they live. I don't know how they live actually in that dimension. But anyway, so
I think that's a very big question you're asking. I have no idea. I don't think Jeff has an idea. Like,
I'm pretty sure he knows. He just don't want to spoil the secret. So, as you can notice, we changed the whole art direction of the module. Now we have a big code, which is if a module is looking on the left, it's something related to projectile damages or defense.
okay.
And if it looks on the right, it's energy based. So you can easily recognize what is related to projectile, which is the data you can see on the right,
Mm-hmm.
which is also new. We added this detailed stats for players that want to dive in and have accurate information of the ships. For players that are less interested, we can just deactivate the detailed stats
Okay.
to have a...
So I read that you can double click on the ship from the Galaxy screen and it will bring you up the screen. Is that true?
we can show that.
All right, let's move
So
on back to
your
the
fleet,
fleet.
you can double click, and it opens the ship design.
Okay, that's my favorite ship from the fleet. Like this one, just look at it, man.
And it's quite convenient because here you can see also the color code showing which strategic is used for each module. So
Oh yeah.
it's easier to guess the dependencies. And could you go on the support modules, the last categories? So maybe we could over a few ones to show you a bit of effects. Maybe the blue one.
Siege
that's the
Titanium
Siege
TBD.
Titanium. Yeah, the name are still in progress. So that will be a new module that will help to siege more efficiently and so accelerate your invasion process. Maybe the red one, I'm guessing. Oh, that's the jammer. So it will lower the chance of being targeted if you put that on your ship.
Okay.
So it's quite convenient if you have like really strong DPS ships that you want to keep safe.
Protect. Okay.
Extra. We have more than 15 new modules, and some of them will be found through curiosity. So we put some of them in the military and science and exploration tech tree, but I think there are over 20 modules that can be only found by searching new curiosities.
Okay.
Curiosities have also been enhanced with battle play. You could also find like neutral ships that will join you, world population that will be dropped to your closer systems, but
Okay.
also traps. So overall exploration should be more diversified and rich, hopefully.
So someone in the chat was just asking, wait to be targeted, what does this mean? Basically, the priority with which other ships, enemy ships, will want to target that ship
You move to
specifically and
the
shoot at you.
Lower system with your
So basically this means that you will have less chances of that ship
the
being shot at by the enemy. It's a great thing to try and protect it. So let's actually, I think we...
Can you go next turn, please?
all right.
I would love to see. Maybe it's marketplace first to show the market events, how it's displayed. So when you go in the marketplace, in the banner at the top,
Yeah.
you will have all the market event active at the same time, and so it will remind you what's going on. So here we
Yeah.
have rogue traders selling
So yeah,
Quadrinix.
Quadrinix, so the price has dropped. That's the one
Yeah.
that is just going like boop at the end.
Yeah, and over 10 turns it will keep dropping.
Oh,
But
okay. that's good.
maybe if someone just buy all of it, it will trigger another events and
Okay.
so. Yeah, maybe could we move on? Just to, I would like to show the election process.
Yeah, I think we're kind of getting a bit short on time, so I think we're gonna show the big stuff.
okay. So maybe
let's
the
talk about the
population-
elections, maybe.
Yeah, elections law would be two big thing.
All right, let's
Could we
move
go
on.
to the Senate then?
Let's just let the computer end its turn. All right, let's move on to the Senate now.
So we can show the new features. So if you open the law panel, we, as explained earlier, we removed the idea of paying influence to vote law.
Uh-huh.
So we'll have rather downside. Either it's a independent law that is always available.
Okay, so
Uh,
those are the round ones, right?
Yeah. That will have a downside in effect. So here you could increase the dust, but will lose approval. For the law attached to a specific party, like the scientist or pacifist law, you will have to pay an upkeep in influence
Okay.
to keep them. And this upkeep is based on your population. So
Oh.
the more your population grows, more costly it will be to keep your laws active.
Okay.
We also changed how we unlock laws. Now it's not related to the support received by the party, but based on the election count.
Mhm.
So as the game progresses, you activate new laws. You can activate new laws. And regarding population, we also added a new control system. At the beginning of the game, each population will be attached to a luxury, and you can spend this luxury to accelerate the growth of the population.
Yeah. So if
It's in if you go to the Senate screen and then the population panel, through the button at the bottom of population census, yeah, you now have a luxury attached to.
in the top left, yeah.
Yeah, obviously the Reefborn cannot be pushed because they built themselves.
Yeah. No luxury attached to them.
Yeah, so the Epistis here could receive
Oh,
wine
Yeah.
to accelerate the growth. And thanks to that, you can have more control on which population you want to have in your systems and which collection bonus you want to trigger first, etc.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good way, I think, of favoring the growth of the one population over one
Yeah.
another, especially as we have all these collection bonuses. Of course, we have some for the Bagaba, so if we click on the Bagaba, you can see what their first population collection bonus is.
It's increasing the pacifist politics, actually.
Yeah, they're pretty chill dudes. I mean, as you'd expect them to be, they look like people you just hang out and play cards with. So, yeah, you know. Right.
Could we just play one more turn to trigger the election? I think we're close to it. So,
Okay, let's do this then.
In the meantime, yeah, I think we can show after the election maybe the new game screen because we've redone the whole
Yeah, okay.
lobby screen.
We'll end with this so we don't
Okay.
have something else to reload.
While we get to the election, maybe is there some question we can answer?
Okay, well, let's just skip some turns until the election, and while we get there, let's see some questions. Boop, boop, boop. Well, any diplomacy changes?
On the AI side, yes, a lot. Like we added the AI mood, so now the AI will be able to send messages to the player to explain what's going on, to react to its actions, and will be able to handle alliances. We are also working on the truth mechanics and the demand, but I don't think we'll be ready to what we plan for the update 3. It will be a bit later. We don't want to rush it. We prefer to refine it properly before delivering it, but it's in the process.
Okay. Can the Riftbone accelerate our timeline so we get the update sooner? Very serious question. Well, I wish. I mean, if you have their cell phone number, just give it to
That's
us.
perfect, better. Before the election, we can then show the advanced report quickly. So we unlock the advanced report now, which will give you details on how much damage you did and which weapon did it. So if you over it, you can have details. And well, it was a short battle because a lot big fleet.
Yeah, it was just one tiny.
But it will be. And you can click to focus on a specific part of the battle to analyze. And this, combined with the rewatch option, should provide all info to the players to understand what's going on, wrong and right.
So you can see, what kind of army some player is building against you, so you can probably properly face them in battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have some more questions? Poo, poo, poo.
The election is coming next year.
Will there be?
And
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just thinking. So we've shown only 2 singularities there. The one accelerating time and the other one slowing down. There are 5 in total. So the first you begin with the weaker one, and then you unlock more powerful power. But to get them, you will have specific technologies in the tech tree in science and exploration. So you will have to go for them. And each singularity is attached to a specific strategic resources, so it will reinforce the dependency of. So for the election now, you will have access to all political parties from the beginning,
Yeah.
and be able to see here what is the current support of your population toward each party. So we can notice that religious lost a lot of support on the ecologists too. Industrialists and militarists progresses quite well with the pacifists, and you can support which one, the one you want. We changed government, so now democracy and dictatorship don't have election action anymore.
Okay.
Only the Republic and the Federation will have, but there was advantages.
So you cannot bribe people in the democracy. It's a perfect
the
democracy.
idea of democracy is really you have to keep faith in your people,
Okay.
and the biggest advantage is the number of flow you will access.
Okay.
And now, so you have a first run, and then you can see some icons next to ecologists and militarists that shows which party decided to report the vote to help them to win. So it's still work in progress. Will improve the sequence of the first and second turn.
Tiny UI bug there.
But thanks to the pacifist and the religious, the ecologist won, even if at first the industrialist was the clear leader. So the idea is to create more suspense within the election and more flexibility.
Okay. All right. Let's.
And in terms of game system, just a quick thought,
Yeah,
we
okay.
reinforce the deterministic aspect because in the previous version we had a lot of feedback. It was too chaotic to guess the election. So now there is more deterministic process, which will make the info more reliable and hopefully remove frustration from the players.
Okay, I think we've shown pretty much all of what we're going to see in this save game. Let's hop over to the new game menu.
The new game?
Yeah, the new game. All right, let's quit this.
Yeah.
Hopefully nothing's going to jump at us.
There are lots of small details we're not showing, like we changed how the manpower is processed because it was also part of the frustration of the players. So now it's evenly distributed between all actors that require it, and we removed it from the troop upgrade, so you won't have to stock it.
Okay.
The idea is more to focus on the flux of manpower and being sure that your ships have enough to attack your opponents.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want your ships actually arriving on destination being empty. All right.
Yeah.
This is the new game
Ta-da!
window. Well, new game window. Tell me all about what's changed. Oh, of course, it doesn't quite look like the old one.
Actually, everything. We worked on the layout to put more emphasis on the faction you can select, because before you didn't have a big focus on it and it was a bit lost at the bottom of the
Yeah.
screen. So now we have a better focus on it. If you go back to the previous, so you have on the list of the traits, we put a bigger chat, which will be useful for the multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
And something really cool is you can rename your empire. So if you click here, you can start writing.
Of course, the name that was here was Become, because as usual, we're relying on Etienne, or brand manager, who's behind the scene. He's the one controlling everything.
Can I give a secret? If you're smart enough, you can write in endless in the game.
Okay.
That
Do you want to tell me how to do that?
I don't know. Should we?
Some other time. Let's just keep people guessing.
Let's let them see if they find out.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, it should be more comfortable for for players to manipulate the lobby screen, hopefully. And we added some banners, so it's a bit more lively than the previous layouts.
Mhm.
And we're open to feedback to are the option we selected to put it in the screen as a base, or do they want more advanced option? For multiplayer, we also made possible to edit some game options during the game. So, for instance, if you go to advanced gameplay, you will have the timer. Middle one. You have the time management option, and if you forgot, for instance, to set a turn timer, you can edit that in game.
Oh, that's nice.
So if you launch a game and then I forgot to put timer, you can just press.
And we're playing with Jeff, who's taking forever,
Yeah.
as usual, to
You
finish
can
his
just
turn.
press escape, and then you will have the option of opening timer management and change it dynamically. So
Okay.
I think we.
All right, we're going to take a couple more questions, I think, and then probably going to call it a day. Do the singularities have a cooldown period?
You need to build them, and once you use it once, you need to rebuild it.
Okay.
So it's more a stock, and you can only stock at the beginning up to 3, and at max up to 6.
Okay, so how can you upgrade the number of singularities that you
It will
stock?
be through technologies and quest.
Okay.
So it's only one use for one singularity, and it will length for 10 turns.
Is the stream running? Yeah, I'm sorry, person. Actually, if you're not seeing this, you're not hearing me either. But please press F5. We've been talking for an hour. What else? What about trade agreements between empires?
They are here. So when you sign a trade agreements with another empire, you will share your trade company. So you will have trade routes between all your trade companies and the subsidiaries and companies of your new ally,
Mm-hmm.
which will create a huge boost in your trade system.
Okay. How hard will it be to create custom models for my mods? Because my dream is to port every ES1 faction over to ES2. It's going to be pretty hard. I think every single ship model is dozens of thousands of polygons. So if you just want to port over, even if you manage to just grab the 3D model from Endless Space 1 and port it over to Endless Space 2, it would not look good. It would look kind of...
and we changed the rendering system because we're using PBR now, which wasn't the case in Endless Space 1, and we have a specific FX system that is not adapted with the chips of Endless Space 1, so it's not that easy. But that's something we would like to look at for modding later.
Like it's something that is nice to have, and of course we know that you guys are really passionate about creating the one race that you care about, well, the one species or faction that you care about. Could be from the same race as another faction, but just different people, like the Sheridan and the United Empire in Space One, for instance. But yeah, we're gonna look into it because it's actually quite technically difficult. So let's. So yeah, it's a maybe. It's a nice to have. What's next? Are you focusing on ES2, or is another game or EL DLC in development? We're pretty much all focused on ES2 right now.
We want to deliver the best game possible, so we have to stay focused.
Yeah, as from EL, we've basically the last update with Forgotten Love was kind of a nice way for us to correct a last few things, but at the moment we're pretty much putting everyone we have on deck for Endless Space 2. We can't afford to disappoint you guys, so that's we're 100% of those guys now. Next question, actually, should be will Voltos come back? Well, time will tell. At the moment, you know that we're not about to drop hints. Yeah, we have the Mizari already, so if the Voltors are coming back, it would be kind of like a sideways. It would be putting again a lot of humans in the game, so it's not a definite no, but it's we have a lot more stories to tell than just tell the tales of the human species in space. What next? During the distortion of time, is that a Cravers population takes more time to empty the planet? And so does the distortion affect planet depletion?
I don't think so, but it should.
Okay, well, maybe not. It probably should. That is a really devious thing to do right now. Because so if you're playing with your friend and you just slow down his planet, it's gonna just turn to crap, and he's not gonna have been able to do anything with it. That is, you're probably not a very good friend to have. Zamnesia, not playing with you.
Yeah, I think it's a smart guy.
Any plans after release? Well, pretty much with all of our games, our plan is to support and expand the game. Because we're not a fire and forget kind of studio, so look forward to
the game.
Look forward to us improving the game as usual, based on your feedback, based on what you think the game could use. That's pretty much it. Is Closing the Rift a victory condition for the Riftborn? No spoilers.
That's
so that's pretty much the only thing we can do here. It's a question that is for us to know and for you to wonder. So I can only encourage you to play the quest next week.
Yeah. Even if it's not complete yet.
Yeah,
because we only have the beginning.
Of course. So we're gonna take just one last because we're really running over now. When is Update 3 video coming to YouTube? Very soon, actually. In the next few days, probably.
Yeah. And just to close the stream, I forgot a few things on the battle system, but you have the changelog, but we did lots of small details, like critical hits have changed drastically. Mm-hmm. We started to add some arena effects that will change the battle depending on where you fight, and lots of small details, but we don't have enough time to go through everything. Okay, well, I think that we're pretty much going to cut it here. Thanks to all of you guys for joining. As usual, if you just joining during the stream, we will be putting the video available as soon as we hit the off button, so maybe 5 minutes from now. So don't fret. You'll be able to see it from the start in all its glorious random and live TV actionness. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you're as excited as we are for Update 3. And I don't know. Let's just close with another edition of the Riftborn prologue because I can get tired of it. So it's one of my favorite, I think. So far. I really like the music and the moment where it just comes out of the rift. The voice acting is really good. Okay, that's your favorite. I like the music. All right. Yeah. Well, guys, we're going to talk about this amongst ourselves. Thanks for joining us again, and see you soon. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Was a pristine universe. We knew nothing of your endless, your dust. Until the rift ripped a path between our realities, injecting a blight that spread like poison. Our cosmos of order and balance was shattered forever. Dying, corrupted and consumed. We had no choice. We are outcasts in the chaos that is your universe, willing to do anything to save our own.